Well, good morning and thank you very much. You're right on time for the Western Spectrum, a program that brings you every activities and details that actually happens in the western part of the country. We cover the length and breadth of this region, ensuring that you have a front row seat on exactly what the western region of this country is. And today, of course, as we build up to the 27th of this month, that is when the world will be celebrating the World Tourism Day, and of course that event will be held here in Kisumu County. We will be talking to stakeholders in that particular sector here in Kisumu, so that then they actually fill us in exactly what they're actually doing, or activities that are actually been lined up to ensure that as we build up to that great day, we are well prepared to ensure that indeed each and every person will be coming for that particular event gets to enjoy the very good culture, very good tourism sites, and of course what Kisumu has to offer for the people who will actually be coming to this region. We are, of course, at the vantage position that can actually enable you to see the beauty of Kisumu County. Of course, in the background, the lake itself, and you can actually see the vast potential it has in terms of tourism. And of course, we are also showing you exactly what this county offers. This is a county, of course, that has Kite, Mikai, Ndere Island, and of course, the National Museum and very many other tourism sites that the CEC here, of course, tells me that she will be inviting each and every one of you to come and visit. And of course, we cannot talk about Kisumu and fail to talk about the cleanest city in the country, and more importantly, also the fish that they have a special festival that actually celebrates the fish in Lake Victoria. On my left, of course, is the CEC for tourism, Waziri Farida Salim, and of course on my far left is the Vice Chair of Domestic Tourism, Robert Rocco, and of course he's also doubles up as representing the CEO of Lake Victoria Tourism Association, who was actually supposed to be here, but unfortunately he had official engagement in Mombasa. Welcome, gentlemen, and of course, gentle lady. Waziri, straight to you. This week, of course, very important week as we move towards the World Tourism Day that will be held here in Kisumu County.
First of all, as you've been told, my name is Farida Salim, the County Minister in charge of Trade, Tourism, Cooperatives, Industry and Marketing here in the great county of Kisumu. And first of all, I want to appreciate KBC for the invitation so that we can engage and talk to the people. As you are aware, last year we hosted the national celebrations here in Kisumu. This year we are doing as a county, and all counties are supposed to host the celebrations within their county. This year the national celebrations are going to Mombasa, Kwale and Kilifi counties, but we thought as a county we have a lot to showcase, a lot to bring the community also on board so that we mark the celebrations. We have worked very hard to prepare, and as you know, for us we have a marketing campaign that is Kisumu My Pride, and we are aligning all the tourist activities. We are aligning with this campaign because it's the official campaign, marketing campaign agenda for Kisumu.
And have actually been lined up, and
yes.
Of course Peter Anyang Nyongo has actually extended his kindness in terms of ensuring that those that are actually coming to Kisumu, and even locals that actually want to visit the museum, that can actually do it for free this week.
Yes. Not for free entirely this week, but on the World Tourism Day, that is on the 27th. However, as a department, together with the Department for Culture, we are hosting the tourism week starting on the 24th at the Kisumu Museum, because we have to showcase what the museum is all about, and also giving people an opportunity to come to the museum. By the way, Simon, do you know there are people even here in Kisumu who have never visited the museum and they are becoming old?
True. Yes.
So that is what we don't want. Tourism is not just about foreigners. It is about all of us. It is about, traveling for leisure, for business and leisure. Who can't do that?
You're right, Waziri. The Vice Chair of Domestic Tourism, Robert. Robert, very pertinent question that Waziri has actually asked. Why is it that we continue to look at tourism as an affair of foreigners and not locals?
Thank you, Simon. Good morning, listener. As I said that Robert Yoko, the National Vice Chair of Domestic Tourism, and also I'm here in capacity as Chair of Ethics and Standards for Lake Victoria Tourism, standing in for Mr. Kataro. As the question you asked, tourism is a big thing in Kenya, and when it is well marketed, then it can bring revenue. But we realize that in Kenya, particularly in Western Kenya, people doesn't know what is in their surrounding, and that one we lose more in terms of visibility and so on. So, as Waziri has said, Kenyans,
Robert, we know that we have a lake here in Kisumu.
Yes,
that is a fact, right? Every other morning when we walk past this lake, we actually see it, right? We also, when you are on Nairobi Highway, we will definitely see the museum, right? When you are going to Muhoroni or Chemelil, you will actually see a very big signage telling us this is where Luanda Magere is. When you go to Siaya, there's a big signage that shows that this is the route to Ndere Island. We know that these things are there. The question is that why are we not embracing it as Waziri has said, our duty to actually visit these places and not just leave it to the foreigners?
I think we haven't developed a passion to visit such places, and probably quite a number of us doesn't know what is activities that are happening there. For example, here in Kisumu, you may realize that there are quite a number of people who has not even visited Impala, apart from Impala, even museum, and they don't know what is happening there. So until that time, we'll develop a passion to visit and see what is happening, and that one can only be done through sensitization and also letting the public to know the kind of activities that is going on. Yes,
it has been there for a very long time, and if you've been keen on media releases for quite some time, there's been a sustained campaign to elevate the Western tourism circuit, because we always argue that the coastal side of Kenya has actually been overvisited, and people tend to forget about the good things that are actually in the western part of the country. Then the question that begs is that, apart from just sensitization, what else do we need to do? And especially you, as a person who is directly involved with domestic tourism, what else do we need to do to ensure that Kenyans can actually say that, of course, I've taken a leave, a 30-day leave. 15 of them I'm going to spend visiting museum, going to Ndere Island, seeing what Lake Victoria has to offer, apart from just fish.
Thank you. I think first thing, we need to develop our product, because you realize that a person who visits one of the places in Kisumu, when they want to visit, they will ask you, what else is there? Is there something new? So one, we have product development. Two, we need to downstream in terms of marketing. You realize that the marketing structure has been placed as only favor the elites, and you realize that the other people, they don't know, maybe in terms of language barrier. So if we scale it down to local radio stations so that they can be informed what is happening in their surrounding through their vernacular. They'll understand and may have urge of going and seeing the places. Yes.
Waziri, talking about branding, which this county has actually done pretty well on various fronts in terms of packaging Kisumu as a county that people can actually come and visit. Yeah. We all remember at a time when Kisumu was we used to look at Kisumu as a very volatile county, violent county, that things can actually flip within a minute, right? You've done pretty well on that side. How then do we move forward to ensure that indeed the gains that we've made over the years, we can actually leverage on them and ensure that people can actually continue to come? Because when you look at what has happened this year and of course last year in terms of just visitation of Kisumu County, the numbers are quite impressive.
Actually, Simon, that is why we thought we want to drive traffic to Kisumu. But how do we do it? This is why we came up with our campaign agenda, Kisumu My Pride, because we said there are so many good stories within Kisumu that only us, it's only us who can tell those stories the way we know them. And like you see, for us, during the tourism week, we open up the attraction sites. We try as much as possible to open up and call people to come and visit those facilities with us. It's one of the activities that we undertake, the media familiarization tour, where we bring the media and our stakeholders in the industry. We go together to visit those facilities and showcase. Photography is done, videography is done, and the information is released out there. Like he said, we need to change our mindset. For so long, people have been thinking tourism is about foreigners. No. It is not. First of all, we must appreciate the resources that are God-given to us. The lake here is God-given. And by the way, do you know how old this lake is? This lake is over 400,000 years old. And you will realize, even here in Kisumu, there are people who have never used the lake. Last year we launched a product called lake conferencing. You see, opening up the lake, so that if you have like one-day meeting, half-day meeting, instead of doing in the hotels, we allow people to use the lake. And the first batch of farmers that I took there, appreciated and said they have never thought about the lake. So it is upon us as leaders, and together with the leadership of Lake Victoria Tourism Association, to open up those sites and lead from the front. We must go ourselves to those sites, and then we invite others to come. So we must remove that mentality and own our rich resources that are in the tourism attraction sites. Now, the other thing that you need to know is that Magical Kenya, KTB, is running a Magical Kenya. That's a national campaign. Last year, when you were hosting the celebrations here, 9 circuits were launched. For us in Kisumu, we are in the Western tourism circuit. So each circuit is supposed to come together and come up with products. Nothing prevents people from coming up with products. Because remember, Simon, if we want to drive traffic to Kisumu, we know traditionally people have been going to Mombasa, Naivasha, Masai Mara. How do you drive people to Kisumu? First of all, talk about Kisumu passionately. Tell people what Kisumu has.
And positively.
Yes, and positively. And that's why I always tell people, Kisumu My Pride is a campaign that is aggressively positioning this county as a tourist destination and also as an investment.
So what sets it aside from other counties or any other tourism sites?
Our strategic location. Kisumu is the only county apart from, in the Western Circuit, Kisumu is the only county that you can access by 4 means of transport. by air, by rail, by road, and by water. Tell me which other county has that advantage. So we are strategically placed, and also Kisumu is a hub connecting East Africa countries. The other counties don't have that advantage. So the strategic location for Kisumu gives us an upper hand, and that is the upper hand that we are really leveraging on to make sure that we tell our stories. And then Kisumu has an international airport. Okay? Which other county here has an international airport? None. So it is, we are centrally positioned, and in terms of even I said when tourism plan, when tourists plan to visit a place, it's majorly on business and leisure. As far as business is concerned, you can see we have positioned this county as a MICE destination. And a lot of conferencing after AfriCity. We hosted the 9th edition of AfriCity Summit. And after that, the graph has never gone down. The graph is going up. And so conferencing, when people come for the conferencing, we have also discussed with the hotel industry to package and give the visitors, an opportunity to sightsee. So most hotels are investing in tour vans so that when they get their visitors after they are done with their business for the day, they can go out. They are taken out to various tourism attraction sites so that they sample and enjoy before they leave. Something that we must work together. We must, even you guys in the media, we must tell our stories. We must showcase what we have. Whenever we have, I am expecting when we start the tourism week this week, I am expecting the media to be proactive.
At least as we are proactive.
Yes. And I'm very proud. Yes. I'm very proud of this initiative. Today we are starting to talk that we cannot embrace tourism fully if we don't change our mindset.
About lake conferencing, you also talked about just getting to see the lake. Yes. Most of the time when sports and what have you, right? Yeah. But most of the time when you talk about the lake, yes, we all think about getting into a small boat, doing small rounds and then coming back. Yes. There's quite a lot the lake offers in terms of lake excursion, bird watching, and what have you. Just explain to us some of these things so then people get to understand what the lake actually offers.
We have a festival that is also the initiative of the county government of Kisumu, the Fish Fiesta Festival, because we thought the lake being our biggest source of our biggest source of pride has been underutilized. And we thought it is time to also open up the lake for leisure activities, including the traditional boat races, which we normally do during the Fish Fiesta. And again, you can tour. The lake tours we have prepared for the people. You can actually connect to the two islands. We have Ndere Island, and we also have Maboko Island. You can connect with the lake. And these are activities that we have undertaken, and we have told the stories, and we will continue to do it because consistency in tourism is key. Today somebody will hear what I say. Another person has not heard. So I will keep on talking because for the benefit of the ones who have not heard, then the message continues to flow. Okay? So zipline is also another product. Right now, if you go to Dunga, there is an activity, there is ziplining that has never been there, connecting the boardwalk. Okay, so people, and it's a serious attraction. Yes,
people need to come and actually see it.
Yes. We also have, the water bus. The water bus has packaged tours, including for the education tours, lake tours for schools. It has also packaged for private people who want to do parties on the lake, birthday parties and the rest. You see, we are somewhere.
Quite impressive.
It has never been there, but all this is because we said we must open up the lake. Now, on the long term, we are looking at reintroducing. There used to be a floating restaurant, privately owned, but now I don't know what happened, but we want to reintroduce it, and that information is out to the investors. Whoever wants to do that, we welcome. Then there is the modern cruise ship connecting Uganda, Tanzania. We want to enjoy the lake.
Of course, when they're enjoying, of course, there must be ethical considerations, right? Yes. And that is why we have Robert here, because he also holds the heart of the man in charge of ethics at Lake Victoria Tourism Association, right? Yes. Just to ensure that each and every person who is actually coming in Kisumu, the ethics and standards, right? For those that are actually offering services, but also those that are actually coming, because we also had cases in some places where tourists come and they introduce things that are not likable to the locals.
Thank you. Let me applaud the Waziri. I would say that among Western Waziri, the CC for tourism, she's doing a lot, and I would like also to encourage other counties, the CCs, to copy, and they can come and benchmark. Yes, kind of benchmark. In terms of ethics and standards, we are working closely with TRA. Because we realize that there are guests who are coming and they introduce things which are not environmentally favorable. Together we're also working with other agencies, the security and so on. In terms of the stand for LVTA and matters of that, we've really tried to, telling the stakeholder at least to give a proper information to their guests before they arrive, even after their arrival. Two, we cross-check and we work with the county security, even Nyanza security team, just to ensure the safety of the guest. Because you realize, I've seen some stories in some part of Kenya that guests are being exposed to some danger. On that one, our side, we do close monitoring so that we make sure that when they come to experience, particularly maybe this side of the lake, they go back home when they are very happy, and they go when they've seen what they brought them here. Thank you.
Yes. The question, and I'll ask you this. One of the major concerns that people who are actually coming to Kisumu have raised, and Waziri, this is something that you also need to take note.
Okay.
Is the fact that you land at Kisumu International Airport, and you request for a taxi, right? And online taxi providers, platforms, right? And the figure is actually 400 shillings. But the moment you jump into that taxi and you're going, let's say, to Ndere Island or whichever place you're supposed to be going, the driver tells you that you cannot pay 400. That is what the app says. But you have to add something because that borders on ethics. What are we doing to Robert and of course Waziri? What are we doing to ensure that indeed when I come here and I'm ordering for a taxi or a cab, then the amount that is actually on the app is what I'm going to pay?
So I think it depends with the operators. But as LVTA, we've tried to engage operators, particularly these online Ubers or apps. You realize that some of them are just adjusting the rate because of their own wills, not because of the satisfaction of the customer. And you realize that some of them have interfered, one, with the happiness of other customers. But we've taken note, and we are still trying to engage some of them whom we've received their formal complaints. And we'll assure you, and we assure guests who are coming to Kisumu that hopefully you will not experience such kind of thing, and we'll advise the kind of the taxis, also those online, that you can use safely, because that one we're very sure in case of anything we're able to trace them and find them out. Yes.
Great. Yeah, to add on that, yes. I did make a personal request to Kenya Tourism Board to help me train our taxi operators. And we started the training last year, which was well appreciated by the taxi operators, because for us, the first point of entry for any tourist is the taxi. When they land at the airport, the first point of entry is the person who is picking up this tourist and, you know, taking this person around. So it really must be impressive. So this training that we undertook last year was, first of all, to remove all the bad habits. It's not only about the amount you're talking about. It is also about how do you receive your guests, okay? Sometimes, you know, like if you initially, if you looked at the way the taxi operators in Mombasa receive their guests versus how our Kisumu taxi operators did, there was a very big difference. You know, the ones in Mombasa will really entice you to get into their cabs. And if you came to ours here, you know, you meet a cold team.
Yeah.
Yes. But
cold.
now it is done. Right now there is a lot of changes, and we are still building on that, because we have emphasized to the taxi operators that if you cannot accord that warmth to the tourists, then you're also doing damages to yourselves. And I think there's a lot of change. Yes.
Sorry, I think we, on the same note, we're working with the TRA just to come up with the ethics code for the taxi drivers who are operating most of all these regions, not particularly Kisumu, but all the region, so that they can abide with that standard. You realize that people nowadays, they just buy the car and then register to those apps. They continue operating without the guidance. So that one has bring us a lot of problems, and we are working closely with the agency so that we can tame on that.
About buying a car and getting onto the road, you must actually be trained to ensure you can actually effectively handle clients that are actually coming in.
We hope the training is going to continue, and I'm also happy to report.
Exactly, that is what I wanted to ask. If it is an ongoing, it's a continuous process, or it's a one-off.
And that is why we also lobbied under the leadership of our governor, and I'm very happy that the governor brought Utalii to Kisumu. You know, now Utalii is helping us to continue with the refresher training courses, so that what we started continues. We must continue, we must be consistent until we have perfected the game. Because it is very also unfair for a tourist to travel all the way, and then you give that tourist a mild, you know, a mild experience.
Yes,
We want to give them a memorable experience. And this needs a lot of capacity building. To the taxi operators, to the front office, even in the hotels, we have started. Actually, we did the taxi operators training and the front office, so that at the reception, you must be given some good reception. So we realized there were some gaps, and that also was undertaken in the last year's build-up activities. We did train front office operators. So we are on course, and we want people to give us feedback, so that where we think we are not doing well, we can improve. And so when something is good, we also want to
say
be
that
told.
it's something good. Yes, you're right. Talked much about the lake, so I just want to ask one question about the lake, so then we don't actually just dwell on that, so then you can also look at other things that actually decide about the lakefront modernization and of course restructuring to ensure we have non-motorable movement along the lake, right, but also because looking at the the attraction people the lake shows actually get when people come to Kisumu, and of course also those that actually domiciled in Kisumu, they are always going on the lake shows wanting to actually just to view the lake and not a view. That in itself tells you that there's vast potential along the lake. Where are we in terms of ensuring that indeed that space is made more attractive, not just for the locals, but also those that are actually coming, or not just for those that are actually coming in, but also the locals who can actually just walk around the lake and feel the ambience.
Basis. Actually, the governor formed a team, the Lakefront Development Corporation, that has worked to generate a master plan for the same. And now we are at a stage of resource mobilization. Resource mobilization, because that is not a small investment, okay? So word has been out there. We are on standby because, you know, once we get people who are interested to invest, then we are going to, everything is set. It is just waiting for the right people who are interested, and we start the development. In the meantime, we have private players along the lake. You can see there are beaches there, privately owned, and people are really making use of them as our entertainment spots. I want to believe people are enjoying themselves, even as we wait for the long-term ones that are lined up to be undertaken by the government. I know guys are having fun.
Things are moving. It was part of one of the press conferences that, of course, a deal had signed for the initial study in terms of just ensuring that they get to understand how they'll go about it. We're hoping that, of course, will move into the next step, so that then that project can actually be actualized. Feasibility studies, yes.
It's now at the feasibility study.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's move into hotels. One of the major challenges that we've actually had in this region, especially when we have actually held bigger conferences and also national events, has been the issue of accommodation. Many a times when we are having national events in Kisumu or even neighboring counties, what we witness is that all hotels are booked, and we have to spill over now to neighboring counties and actually seek assistance from those counties in terms of encouraging people to actually put up standard hotels and such facilities. Where are we? First and foremost, where are we in terms of what we have? Do we have something that if someone prominent from out of the country wanted to come here, or even in the country wanted to come here, can actually stay here for some time? And then two, in terms of growth, to ensure that indeed we can accommodate more people as time goes by.
Okay. When we hosted a Free Cities Summit, we are proud to report that the number of delegates who were hosted in Kisumu and in the neighboring were 11,000. So for me, I don't look at it like we have challenges with accommodation, no. And by the way, Simon, did you know that Kisumu is the biggest beneficiary of all the conferences that are happening in Nyanza? When the Evolution Conference took place in Homa Bay, Kisumu was the biggest beneficiary in terms of accommodation. The international investment conferences, like the Kakamega one, those people are sleeping in Kisumu. And that is something we are very proud of. And we have even engaged the hospitality industry to work on an expansion mode, because the graph is not going lower. Remember, we have the convention center that we are pushing for completion. That's a 6,000-seater conferencing center. And you know, when it will be fully operational, we are going to attract very big conferences. And very big conferences means we also must expand our accommodation capacity. So for me, I look at it in terms of we have set a foundation. And I want to thank our governor so much, because Afri Cities Summit was a serious eye-opener for Kisumu and the region. Because when people came, initially, there were those people who thought it cannot happen. But it happened. And by the way, we beat Marrakech's record. Yeah, because Marrakech, the 8th edition, they hosted, I think, around 9,000.
9,000.
Yeah, as we went overboard and we hosted 11,000. So it was a clear demonstration that if you support intermediary cities like Kisumu, then chances for us to grow are very high.
Very high.
Yeah. Capacity-wise, we are not worried. Next year, we are hosting World Talent Conference in October next year. And God willing, we hope the convention center will be complete to host that conference, because we are expecting 10,000 delegates.
10,000. It's not just about the lake and, of course, the hotels. You also told me that we are big on technology.
Yes.
We're also big on health. And of course, Kisumu prides itself as one of the only regions or centers in the country that is actually offering medical services around sickle cell, right?
Yes.
So this is some of the things that actually the county, the drone technology. Of course, this is some of the things that, of course, the county government is just doing to ensure that indeed we diversify in terms of the people that are actually coming to Kisumu County.
And it's a whole ecosystem. It means all those departments have to work together. The health department, agriculture department, tourism, culture, we must pull together because it's a whole ecosystem. When you want to give your guests a memorable experience, it can never be an affair of tourism department alone, because that guest could fall sick. How is our health care system taking care of that person? Okay, there is our rich cultural heritage that we are proud of. Okay, that is one thing that you can never miss, because it is something we are proud of, and we want to scale it up. Yeah,
scale it up. Fine. Yes. The other question that a friend of mine told me to ask you, Kevin Omolo, former Standard Bureau chief, who now runs a private outlet.
Yes.
He asked about Kano, and he said that over the years, what we hear about Kano, of course, his village is floods, and says that that particular space has a lot in terms of what it can offer in terms of tourism. And he says that the people that is actually seen over the years actually coming to Kano have been those that are actually school students that are actually coming to see rice farming. But he tells me that when you go to places like Netherlands, when you go to Malaysia, the traditional way of planting rice that we see happening here is actually a big deal out here. Why are we not leveraging on that to ensure that people can actually come just to see how we do our rice planting in the traditional manner?
It is doable. It is doable because all counties, Kisumu being inclusive, all counties are supposed to curate their own tourism products. Nothing prevents us from doing that. So that means we must work closely with the agriculture department to curate and come up with a product of the same. I want to give an example. That one I cannot respond in details because I've just learned from you about it, and I want to appreciate it. It's a very brilliant idea. We will work around it and come up with a product. Currently at Lake Basin Development Authority, we have Kibos Integrated Technology Transfer Center that is embracing serious solar-powered initiatives inside there. That is one area that we are very keen, because we are talking about tourism and sustainable transformation. And any sustainable transformation initiatives that are out there, it is our business to look for them and package and curate. And I hope you will join us when we go there so that we tell that story to the world together.
Great.
Yeah.
Had a good time discussing tourism in Kisumu County, but of course time is not on our side. But before we go, of course, I'll just give you 30 seconds to wrap it up. Of course, I'll start with Robert, so then he protocol, right? We started Robert, and then now you sum it up. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, listeners. Let me urge everyone to come to Kisumu for this tourism week. There is a lot that you learn, and there's a lot that you'll enjoy within the lake. Remember that it's only Kisumu that you can get a very big fish, and you pay in a very affordable manner. Now, in terms of tourism and marketing domestic tourism, we will encourage the citizens.
Robert, remember it's 30 seconds.
Oh, sorry, 30 seconds. Yes, sorry. Let me just shorten. I welcome you. Come to Kisumu. People around Nyanza, please try to elevate and try to come and copy our superwaziri. We've given her superwaziri what she's doing here, and I want to encourage everybody that let's try to have a passion to visit our nearest attraction wherever we are, so that we can we generate revenue for our own children and also for our businesses.
They must come and visit. Fantastic, okay. Robert. Waziri, as you conclude.
I also want to welcome everyone to Kisumu, where we are going to learn, we are going to dance, we are going to eat, we are going to have fun. Kisumu is the county to watch. Please come to Kisumu during the tourism week. We have exciting activities to showcase to everyone who will join us. Karibuni sana Kisumu.
Farida Salim, and of course Robert Ayoko, the Vice Chair of the domestic tourism, and of course also holds a position at Lake Victoria Tourism Association, expounding on what needs to be done in terms of just leveraging on the vast potential we have here in the western part of the country, and more specifically Kisumu, which they say is the gateway to the vast potential in terms of tourism in this region. I'm surprised. Of course, Waziri has not talked about Ohangla music. She's also not talked about the very many festivals that we actually have here in Kisumu County. But of course, that boils down to the time that we've actually been allocated. But notwithstanding, of course, we'll continue to have this conversation on our social media handles. And of course, as they have actually said, make a point of ensuring that indeed you tour those sites in Kisumu County and the region. But more importantly, over the weekend, be at the museum, because good things will be happening there. Back to you.